Namaste, guys. Good evening. How are you doing? How was your day? Great moment to again reconnect. This is our 2 weeks meditation challenge, and we are on day 4. So, very, very nice that some of you were already missing the morning meditation. I think it's a very good sign. We can get used to new habits that are feeding us, that are nourishing us very easily, right? Can create good addictions instead of the bad, harmful addictions. So today, as I love to share a little bit every time before we meditate, some little technical things. Love to you guys. Thanks for the thanks for the hearts. A little bit of practical things about meditation. So to kind of make it more accessible, more down to earth, and more easy to digest, to receive for yourself, right? Because there is so much going on, um, internet, on the internet, and everywhere else. Whether it's the traditional meditation, whether it's something new age or whatever, but things are sometimes really complex, or they seem to be complex or very mystical, and so on. So, hi guys. Nice to have you all joining. All kind of hearts and loves and love signs showing up and flying in the air here in the Instagram live. Right. So I just wanted to touch base on that thing that meditation should be very simple. That we should demystify it, and we should be able to really access it in ourselves in a very compassionate way. That was the last few sessions were a lot about that, like how do we meet ourselves where we are, instead of creating some new expectations towards ourselves. In our teacher trainings, I love to mention that people sit there and they all meditate and they are all very zen, and then all of a sudden, you know, we are like in this meditation thing, and then we finish meditation and we have the sharing. Okay, how was this meditation today? And if someone would have just passed from the external world, those people don't meditate, and they would just walked into the room and just sneakily had a look into the room, they would have probably seen people looking very zen, maybe very focused, very still, very peaceful. So they make up this thing like, oh, those people meditate. They're all very silent. They're all very peaceful. They're all blissed out. It's it's something that I will never be able to access. And then you have the sharing of a meditation session, and you have everyone sharing something, like on that moment I felt really challenged. I had so much going on. I had so many thoughts, and then all of a sudden there was something, or there was a noise, or there was this, there was that. Some people saying like indeed that was peaceful, but sometimes having 3 5 people saying like it wasn't at all. That you could take it as a failure, you could take it like all right, I'm a full beginner, I have my mind running in all directions. And so what we experience inside and how it looks from the outside, sometimes it's total different things, right? But it's good to remind ourselves that just the fact that you show up, you sit there, you take that seat which says I'm here to be with myself today. If it's just for 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. But I'm here. Hi, Carol. I'm here, just showing up. And I'm committed to be with myself, with my full attention to whatever is arising. And if it's a mess arising, it's a mess arising. On some days, you're going to get blissful experiences, and those are good because they're going to motivate you to keep going, because you know it's accessible to you to have a blissful experience. You know that, oh wow, I carry that peace inside of me. And on those days when you don't have that peace experience, when you are full with thoughts and it's like a whole hurricane of things going on inside, you will know that, okay, today is this day, but this is not who I am. This shouldn't really matter so much. This is the now moment, and I meet it, I embrace it, and I let it be. And maybe as I sit here, things will start to shift, and maybe not at all. And that's all going to be fine. Yeah, so you can't never really plan your meditation. You can't have an expectation. Let's say you had an amazing peaceful experience or something really vibrant or very expanded, like really spacious thing. You come back from it, say, wow, meditation is great. And next day you sit down and you are not at all there. You are in a total different place. And that's again very, very mystical. Why one day this happened and then the other day not at all. It's not that you are doing anything wrong. It's just that I go out every morning to the sea. And in my heart, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. In my heart, I aim for my preference. I aim for that very flat water, because that's where I can really enjoy my swim. I don't like when it's really wavy. Then for me it's agitated. I can't really get into that meditative flow. So I'm aiming for that. And on some days it's really not like that. On other days it's like, yes, this is the moment, wonderful. It's so flat. It's like when you go in it, it feels like you are just sliding into, yeah, I don't know, God's dimension. For me, this is how it feels. And other days not. And I can have this expectation, and I'm having it 5%. But now I start to learn to let go of that and to just embrace however it is. And am I able to say why there is wind on one day and there is no wind on the other day? No. And am I able to say, okay, so the sea is very wavy? Is it true? Halfway, right? It's not. The sea is the sea, and the waves are its movement, it's its fluctuations, right? So what is really important, that you don't have expectations, that you don't imagine that everybody else who is doing meditation, they are in bliss and in zen and in stillness. Meditation means presence. Meditation means commitment to be here, to be with yourself, to show up, and to have that curiosity, but also that fierceness, to say whatever is arising, I'm here to meet it. And for me, that's really the engine of transformation. That fierceness of saying, like, I'm here, and even if something that I don't like will arise, I'm also here because I know that this serves me. The fact that it will arise serves me. I'm here to embrace it, to transform it, to realize it, to bring it into my awareness. And once you become aware of something, you have the ability to shift it, and you will realize it more and more. So that's really the first very important thing in your whole life, when you realize something is out of balance, something is not the way you want it. It's really poking you, it's really overwhelming you. Great, now you know it, you can shift it, you can change it. So this is how I show up my mat, with this fierce presence, like whatever is arising, we're here to deal with it. We're here to love it, to embrace it, give it space, and let things unfold and transform through our intention, our attention, and our love and compassion, and just by holding space to this whole thing. Yeah. So that is important. For me, that's the only thing that I'm doing. I'm just committed to sit. Sit in the morning, sit in the evening, wherever I can create a moment. Honestly, I prefer sitting in the morning. For me, that feels great. And I love to have some moment in the evening to just really maybe do a yin pose, yin yoga pose, to calm my system down, and then sit a little bit to let go of the dynamics of the day and to embrace what I want to take with me, to reflect a little bit on what happened, right? And that's it. And so another thing that I wanted to share, for me, is important that I create this rhythm. I create sort of my little ritual, and I commit to that. So that's why usually they say practice, practice, and always coming, because all what it takes is that you showing up, but in a regular way. So that creates a pattern, and that pattern will really ignite your transformation. You really ignite your growth. And then sometimes you have people say like, well, I'm sitting in this meditation, I'm doing it every day now for 5 years, and lately I feel I'm rather stuck, that nothing really unfolds. And so, same thing with yoga, that after a while, first when you start yoga, the change, the progress is really big. You really feel like, whoa, I'm getting more flexible in this posture. I'm doing that much better than I did before. I have more space here, I have more space there, I have more strength, more vitality. You become more aware of your body. But when you practice for a while and the postures are, let's say, well mastered, it's not like you're working on the posture anymore because you have that posture and it's now cleaned up and it's good. Then how can you define if there is progress or not? Sometimes I had that, people coming to me saying like, listen, I'm practicing now for 3 years. And the beginning I felt the progress, but nowadays I don't. I feel like I'm doing the same poses. What could I do differently? And so I asked her, like, what do you think progress is? Where are you looking for progress? Are you looking on the physical level? Are you looking on the mental level? Are you looking on awareness level? Are you looking on emotional level? Where is progress happening? Because maybe first on the physical level there's a lot of progress happening, which is very tangible, very visible. And then maybe there is progress on how you breathe. Just yesterday I read someone writing on Facebook, one of my friends, and she said, well, I started teaching power yoga 5 years ago and I was fully into the postures, and all that I was teaching in a class was poses and poses and poses. And now I noticed that the poses are not so important anymore, but the main thing became the breath. And then people commented on it like, oh, really, I can relate to that. I feel that way too. And I have to say, the more I practice my yoga, the more I'm interested in the postures. I feel like there's so much more to discover, to embrace the breath indeed, the subtleness, some things with the mind, some patterns that I realize I have, some emotions, how to deal with them. That is yoga too. That is meditation too. So there is progress, but maybe the progress went on a deeper level, a different level than first you were meeting it. So when you feel you're not progressing, that you feel you're stuck, it's interesting to open your horizon and to see, okay, maybe I'm just focusing on one thing, and then next to it there are other things evolving, but I don't see them because I'm not busy with them, right? So what I wanted to share is, for me, it's important to have this ritual, to sitting down every day. And for that, be gentle with yourself. There is the tough master that says, doesn't matter where you sit, you should just sit now, don't move, stay there for 24 hours, deal with it, right? And I'm a bit more gentle. I love gentleness and nourishment. So I would say, for me, especially if you have a hard time with meditation at the beginning, then find your way with it. Find a spot in your home or in nature that feels like sacred for you, that feels like a little bit different, that feels a magical spot. If you don't have something like this in your home, create it. We have a small apartment here in Ibiza, and so you see, I created a little altar here next to the window, and this is my spot where I meditate in the morning. When I come down, when the kids are still sleeping, I just come down and sit on my yoga mat, sit in front of Ganesha and my taras, and I put on the candle, and I have a Palo Santo. And Palo Santo is very good for just cleaning the aura and cleaning, awakening your energy and the flow and cleansing, taking away all negativity. So my ritual, I love rituals. That's what I wanted to point out. Have your rituals. That helps you to get into that state. First, when you start with yoga, with meditation, it's good to have some tools to help you to get into that state. The more you practice, the less you will need those tools. Yeah, but if it's your first thing, it's the first time you meditate, you're not that regular practitioner, or you give up very easily, then have your rituals. Like having my Palo Santo, I'm just really having a breath here, welcoming myself here. It feels like I'm entering a sacred temple. And you can create that impression for yourself that you enter a sacred space. That's your meditation. If you put a little incense, if you put some candles around, you sit and you kind of honor what you're going to do. Honor you, yourself, honor the divine. And it's not for no reason that those rituals were created for eons of times. Whether we use water to bathe ourselves, to clean, to purify, or the fire, or smoke, or whatever, there, in the gesture, in your movement, there is awareness, there is intention that's going to already start to move some energy in you. So I love to start with that. I love to have my corner. Please have your corner. That feels great for you, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Find it, create it. Put pictures that really for you mean the sacredness, mean inspiration, mean the connection to your heart or your passion. That spirit is inside of you, that is enthusiastic about being alive, being here, and progressing, and being more alive and more here. Yeah, and once you have all of that, then you just show up every day and you sit. And even if you have a busy day, I say this to everyone. Even if you have a busy day, you have kids, you have a business running, you have a partner, life can be really, really filled nowadays. We know all of that. And I say 5 minutes should be possible to just sit. Claim that 5 minutes, that 10 minutes for yourself. Create space for it and don't listen to the mind that's going to say, I'm going to do this after all the things that I've been busy with and they arranged everything, because that's when you're never going to do it. You need to do this first for yourself, and then your whole day is going to be different and you're going to have a much better flow in everything. If it takes 10 minutes to wake up earlier than you would, maybe your mind was, oh, but I need that sleep. But put your alarm 10 minutes earlier. Have the 10-minute meditation and see what happens in your day. Yeah, so you need to trick the mind, you need to convince the mind with some things. All right, so let's get into our 5 minute. Again, find a comfortable sitting position. As you can see, I'm really sitting in the middle of a mess here. We've been traveling, we're still kind of unpacking from our move. So if you want to see the whole mess around me, it's really not like a sacred temple. Those are the Legos of my kids. There are still boxes everywhere. And I still managed to create this sacred space here. And I feel it's sacred. I'm not just naming it like that. It is really sacred. And the more you're going to sit in front of it, it's going to become more sacred. Because every morning it's going to call you in. And all the energy that you spent here is going to also reinforce that space. So it's going to radiate back at you, just like I said the other day, cleaning your inner garden. The garden reflects back the energy that you put in. Okay, so let's just sit in a comfortable way. And you can just move a little bit your shoulders, maybe roll them back a few times. Maybe you feel like doing some face movement, just, your nose circling a little bit, relaxing your jaw. And before we start to do anything with our breath, just, have a long inhale, really like a full breath, receiving your full inhalation as much as possible. And then have a deep sigh, just letting go. And imagine that you really give yourself permission to fully let go, that you don't hold back anything, right? So one more time, inhale. And then long, deep sigh. And then the last one, really consciously inhale, receive that breath, receive the energy that draws you here, more present. And with the exhale, just drop down into your seat, into your body. Great. And now just close your eyes or keep it halfway open. And really sense and feel that you enter that sacred space. I remember in my childhood we were always sent to go to the restroom and wash our hands before we went to eat. And this is again another ritual. We want to be clean, not just because we eat with our hands. We were not eating with our hands. But it's a way to get ready to embrace. And then in some religions we give prayers, like, okay, thank you God for all this beautiful food. In other religions we bless the food, right? And once you start to live this way, appreciating each moment, each situation, each action, and having a little ritual with it, a little conscious heart connection with it, then it all becomes magic. You add magic to it, and then the magic that is in that thing opens up more as well and radiates back at you. Yeah, so we just enter that sacred space inside of ourselves. And there's nothing else to do. Just imagine that with every exhalation, you drop all the weights that you've been carrying on your shoulders, that you relax your butt cheeks and you really allow yourself to lend, dropping the body, dropping all tensions, dropping all controls, and dropping all aims and striving effort of the day. Really allowing yourselves to just be, to soften, to relax in this now moment. Let meditation be a way of being versus another thing that you need to get better at. Another place where you need to perfection yourself. This is a place to just allow yourself to be who you are in this now moment. Just being with yourself. So allowing the belly to rise and fall, or the chest to rise and fall if the breath is not yet in the belly. Not creating any stress about that either. Allowing your breath to slow down. With every inhale, consciously exploring the space you have to receive that breath. And with every exhale, releasing whatever has been filling up your space. Maybe it's just the breath, but maybe it's the things of your day, since we're doing now this meditation this evening. So, with every inhale, explore your space, explore the physical sensations, how your body is opening up. And then the exhalation, drop and create space, let go. And just being with yourself and observing what is arising. And some of it, what is arising, is just arising so you can consciously release it. That's also another thing to learn. When something is arising, it's not arising because we need to do something with it. You don't need to fix it, to put it in a box, to change it, to push it away. You can just let it go with an exhale. And we just allow the breath to do its thing. You see, we could have done a meditation when I guide you into observing what was good in your day and what you want to keep from it, what was what that you want to release. That would involve a lot of mental control. That would keep your mind active. My experience is that deeper transformation can happen when we switch the mind off, when we go beyond the mind. So just receiving the breath and knowing it creates space, and just observing, listening, sensing what is happening as you breathe that spacious breath, and then the exhalation that helps you release whatever is tense, whatever has been filling up your space. Not even knowing necessarily what it all was, but you just feel that some things are more dense, more contracting. You can just release them. And that's all what we're doing here. And as you are so gently with yourself, feel maybe that you awaken some warmth, some sweet energy. Maybe you feel it in some areas. Maybe you start to feel some energy flow in your hands. Maybe you feel at the belly. And maybe you don't feel any of these, and that would be also fine. And so let's just have 5 more breaths here. Really receiving the breath, all the energy, the gentleness, this welcoming warmth that welcomes you in that inner sanctuary, or just in this moment on your mat, in your own space. And on the exhalation, we just let go. We soften back deeper into the sofa, into the earth, into the mat, into our body. And just the last breath. This time imagine you breathe love for yourself. It's not just a neutral breath. This time it's a warm, loving, kind breath. And let that love be expanding in everything that you are, into your fingers, fingertips, into your belly, your legs, your feet. Imagine it comes in through your nose and it spreads all over your body. And then let the exhalation be a gentle sigh for the last breath, again breathing in that sweet love, kindness or gentleness. And then a long, gentle exhale. And so having our hands coming together in front of the heart. And then maybe you feel a little bit more settled. We didn't do a long meditation since we said we will only do about 5 minutes each day, plus my talk. But notice what happened in that short time. What happened in your body? Do you feel that your body got lighter? Do you feel that your breath maybe got more relaxed? Maybe your mind got more quiet, maybe not. And just really take that last breath here. And as you take in that breath, really feel as you tell to what you are that everything is fine the way it is. And you are fine and perfect the way you are. And you are just right there where you should be. And sometimes just this affirmation helps us to get takes away the pressure of thinking of what else do I need to still do in order to get better, more complete, more perfect, more done, more organized, or whatever. To see if you can just be totally fulfilled with the way things are right now and the way you are right now. Seeing appreciation, seeing what you've been accomplished versus what still needs to be done. And being thankful for yourself and for everything around you for that. And for that inner guidance that takes you throughout the journey of learning, unfolding, and discovery here on this earth. So thank you for sharing it with me tonight. And tomorrow morning, I'm gonna wake you again with another meditation, again early. So we continue with day 5 tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. I always enjoy if you leave me some comments. How was this little session for you? And yeah, have a beautiful weekend, guys. Enjoy it fully. Namaste. Thanks for the hearts. Beautiful.